Every week, a new band. Brought to you by NZ On Air. Active Live! Yeah.
Kia ora koutou katoa, no mai, haere mai. You're here on Radioactive.fm 88.6 and you're here for the Active Live, brought to you by wonderful friends at NZ On Air Music. Today we are lucky enough to be joined by a Damn Sight. We've got Louis Reeve, Peter Allen and David Benge in the studio with us. Kia ora koutou team, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Great to have you here, especially ahead of the upcoming album you've got coming.
Yeah, new EP, new vinyl cassette.
Very, very exciting. So tell us, let's go back backtrack a bit before we get into the album chat. How did you all come together as a band? Tell us a bit about your band history.
David and I have been involved since high school. Our first band, South of Sanity. And then, it all started together about 5-6 years ago with Peter. And David stepped in when our old mate left. And it's been us ever since.
Amazing. So you and David played together in high school and then separated and then came back together.
Yep.
What is it that draws you to each other as performers and songwriters?
Oh, good question. It's always been an amicable separation when it happens, hasn't it?
Yeah, very much so.
I think David was really keen to play again after a few years kind of off after Red Sky Blues. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, Red Sky Blues, what a classic. I remember them well. That's awesome. So you obviously went off and did other projects and came back together and have been all over the place. I know you've both been quite formidable in the scene for a wee while now. In that time, how have you found that this project has sort of developed and how your experience of writing together has developed?
Oh, it's been a nice slow-moving progression. I think I generally bring the songs in and then these guys help with the arrangements. Yeah.
Cool. When you say you bring the songs in, so is that the lyrical content and the melody and things like that as well?
Basically most of it, but then we just all make it way better.
Awesome.
Like fat, yeah.
Beautiful. That's what you want, you know, the pure distilled music from the people in your band. That's awesome. So does that follow suit for the new EP that you've got coming up, Service Through Song?
Yeah. The EP particularly took a long time. And now it's just kind of like, oh yeah, great. What's next?
I can imagine. It's funny when that happens. I think there's a lot of need for sort of when you've been working on a creative output and a particular creative endeavor for so long, there's kind of a need for a refresher. How do you balance managing from the creation process to the kind of promotional process and the stuff that's a little less purely songwriting about it? How do you manage to keep your love alive for the tunes that you've written?
I think we don't really continue playing songs that we don't all really like to begin with. So we've just got to remember that when it all gets a little bit, And I don't know, personally, I'm always finding like new little things that make the songs way better. And I'm just like, oh, I wish it was on the recording now. But just kind of slightly evolving and taking stock.
That's interesting that you say that. Have you brought any of those little changes and things that you've noticed that you really loved into your newer live performances? Do you keep them going? Do you keep them in the recordings as well? How do you manage those?
Yeah, I think once they're there for all of us, we just keep going with them. You guys feel the same?
Awesome. So when you were writing this EP, you mentioned that it's been a wee while in development and in the works. How did you know what songs you were writing would sort of feature on? How did you know which ones would feature best on that record? Did you have a theme overarching that you wanted to promote or anything in particular like that?
I usually just don't finish anything that I don't like as much as the other stuff. So like my output as a songwriter is really quite low, but that just means it's because I've dropped all the other ideas.
That's awesome. So from Woe to Go, a successful song in your mind, how does that writing process take place for you as an individual?
I guess it usually starts with music and then lyrics seem to be a lot harder to keep original. But once it's all there, it's great.
So music is kind of the first inspiration point for you. That's the guitar playing side of things, or is that just general, like you hear something in particular that you like or you sing a melody? Where does that kind of start?
Yeah, mostly guitar and then either a melody or lyrics with a melody. But it might be years between one idea to the next. So
Amazing.
it's like the last song on the EP now is 12 years old.
Wow, 12 years old. That's incredible. What song is that?
It's called Chain Song. It's probably one of my favorites. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one was a released single, is that right? Cool. So what was it that drew you to releasing that single first? Was it to get it out there and finish those 12 years, or was there a specific purpose?
I just thought it'd be a good fit, and yeah, every kind of release is a drop in the water. I never really know how things are going to go, but it's had a little bit of airplay, which is cool.
Awesome. Oh, that's very exciting. Are we going to hear that one in your set today?
Yes.
Yay. All right. Should we have one of those songs? It might not be Chain Song first up, but what do we have first up?
It's another 12-year-old song called Sharpen My Knives.
Amazing. Hearing the absolute classic by a damn sight here on radioactive.fm. Kia ora team, thank you for being here. Let's get into it.
precious one. Open your eyes, my precious one. Woken my spirit, gliding over water. Open your eyes, my precious one. Open your eyes, my precious one. I will never leave. I will lay my head in spirit down.
Beautiful. Thank you for that, team. What a beautiful full sound from just 3 people. That's awesome.
Great, thanks.
If you're just joining us, you're here on radioactive.fm and you're here with By a Damn Sight on our Active Live, thanks to our friends at NZ On Air Music. Is that one's on the album, or the EP coming out soon?
So that's on the first EP, which is on side A of the new vinyl. So we've put an old EP with the new one.
Clever, that's Air 001, is that right?
Air 1, yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Oh, that's exciting. So you've got this vinyl release. We'll talk about that in a minute. But first, talk me through the new EP. Talk me through the songs on it and what they all mean. Are they all lyrical content? And if so, what other sort of themes and qualities to each individual song?
Yeah, sure. So looking back, they were just the 5 that kind of came together as a whole. Starts with a real pop song, which I wrote whilst travelling in the depths of India, and then works its way through lots of different colours, though, I feel. Like, I don't think any of the 5 songs sound much alike, but hopefully it all makes sense.
That's wonderful. Is that an intentional choice of yours to kind of have like a disparate sound for each album or EP that you create?
I think it's just ended up happening that way, but maybe our live set is a lot more, I don't want to say unified, but like, yeah, you know, you can experiment in the studio and like put 3 or 4 guitars on stuff and take forever, but yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's good, I think, to get that, fully rounded sound and experiment as much as you can when you're in the studio. Do you find that you do that similar thing live? Do you ever bring on other artists or other, session musicians and that kind of thing to play with you when you play the things live?
We're recording on Saturday with a viola player, which is really cool. Aside from that, we haven't done it, but I've always meant to, I want to have what I call a big band version, the Bad's Big Band. So with a acoustic guitarist, saxophone, and keys, so twice as many people.
Yeah, that's literally double in size. It's definitely the big band.
So taking expressions of interest on that as well.
Awesome. Hit up Louie and the team if you're keen to be a part of that. That's very, very cool. So the song that you wrote in India, that's My Bells, is that correct? One of the ones that you've released previously?
Oh, that was one of them, but it's actually this new one called Wide-Eyed.
Oh, amazing. So tell us, obviously that time in India was quite an influential experience on your songwriting. Can you talk a bit about it for us?
I think I just used it when things were, I don't want to say overwhelming because it was amazing, but it's an intense country to travel by yourself.
Yeah, and culture shock's real, man. Like, I totally understand when you go to somewhere different, there's a slightly overwhelming feeling, I can imagine, too.
I think it was just like a side mission for me to walk out of there with a few songs, and that worked out. So
very cool. Was there any particular inspiration behind those songs? Do they share anything, or are they quite disparate and different feelings? Like, do they unify in any way?
I think Wide-Eyed, I was just trying to write a pop song in the most pop way I think I'll ever try to do. So it was almost like a funny challenge, and then it's quite hard to play live. We don't do it too often.
Interesting. So what drew you to putting it on the album then, if it's quite a different and poppier sound than what you tend to play live?
I think it was easier to more construct it in the studio with lots of layers and stuff. And but now I'm not sure if I like it as much as I used to. And that's how it tends to go.
I was going to say, it sounds like you have, because you've had these songs with you for so long, you can sort of have a love-hate relationship with them sometimes. How do you manage that when you say, have a fan base and an audience that look for certain tracks in your live playing and in your recordings?
I think we just play our favourites, Yeah, we're like, we're not going to play that anymore. And we still like them, but yeah.
Awesome. What are some of your favourites to play live?
Sharpen My Knives, which we just played. Chain Song, the last song here today. You guys?
Yes, I think the 4 songs we're playing today.
Yeah, we kind of chose our favourite today.
Hey, thanks for bringing the A game to the Active Live room. That's awesome. Now I know that you also do some writing under King Louie, the moniker as well. You do some playing live out in the world with that moniker too. How do these projects work together? Are they symbiotic in any way?
Yeah, It's the same thing without these guys,
Ah.
basically, but more cover songs. I haven't really done much solo. I just like thought I'd get it going as a challenge, and then to not kind of try and rearrange these guys. Like, yeah. But today is Peter's last gig with us, which is super cool.
Really? Oh my gosh, Peter, thank you for joining us here today. And I'm sorry to hear that you're leaving, but congratulations on all you've achieved in this band. May we ask where Peter is going? Obviously, he doesn't have a mic, but Louis, would you be able to speak to that?
Peter's trying some new stuff with a few mates.
Awesome. Oh, well, congratulations and thank you for being here. That's very, very exciting. That's very cool. So should we get maybe back into some more music while we've got Peter around to play it?
Sounds good. I'll just have to do a little tune up.
Wonderful.
Just about start this now, and we can chop out those 3 minutes.
Sounds good. Looking forward to hearing it.
Maybe a little less reverb.
Wonderful. Our lovely sound tech, Don Lucido, the one and only, will sort that out for you. Let's get into it, shall we?
Start that again.
Okay.
Yeah. Rolling, rolling, rolling.
up to the plate, the dish is full. Take breaks, suntan, winter time, summertime, babe. When it was easy, let the freezing, open the window.
Beautiful. Thanks for that, team. If you've just joined us here, you're on 88.6 FM Radioactive. And we're here with Buy a Damned Sight in our live room today, thanks to our wonderful friends at NZ On Air Music. Now, I noticed that the album or the EP itself hasn't been added to streaming services or Bandcamp or anything like that yet. Tell us a bit about the release plan and timeline for that one. I know you mentioned the wonderful two-sided vinyl earlier and some cassette stuff. Tell us about your plan there.
Just kind of still working out everything, and it's nice to have it finished and ready for the decision and the next lineup of shows and things.
Wonderful. When did you have it finished?
The music itself early last year, I think, and got the records like later on last year.
Amazing. Where did you go about recording this whole thing?
It was at my old workplace with some old workmates.
That's awesome. Where's that?
Out Miramar Ways.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we just set up after hours, and they tried out this whole new studio system, so it was like really great for those engineer mates to trial out the multi-studio thing as well.
Cool. That must have been so interesting working with your old workmates on a project that's so personal to you. How did you find managing that and managing those relationships during that time?
Yeah, it was pretty easy. I mean, everyone was friendly and on board, and not expecting much money. So, yeah.
Very cool. What was the old workplace, if you don't mind me asking?
It was a creative studio up Park Road.
Wonderful. Right. Oh, gosh. Beautiful facility then, I can imagine.
Yeah, it was cool.
Awesome. Oh, well, we're looking forward to hearing it. So where can people find and support this music? Where can they find the vinyl? Is there any place that they can sort of go to support you and your music?
We're most active on Instagram and just kind of pushing out singles as we decide to. There have been 2 out of the 5 songs released from the next EP out there already. And as for the full release, we're still working it out. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, awesome. We'll check them out on the Instagram and all that wonderful jazz. So on the horizon performance-wise, what do we have coming up? I've heard there's a little community venue show potentially coming on the horizon.
Yeah, so the next plan is setting up a kind of local community showcase at one of the halls, probably likely Newtown Ways. And yeah, just working out the ins and outs. And really want to have alcohol there, so it gets a bit tricky. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, the whole licensing debacle. Yep. I've heard about this before. Oh, awesome. Well, we're really looking forward to hearing that. Really looking forward to hearing about the show as well. Thank you so much to the three of you for being here today. For my final question for you all, what do you hope people take away from this release? What do you hope your audience takes away from the new EP?
Just to come to the shows, really. I think, I don't want to say I think we're better live, but I think it's more faithful to where we're at. But yeah, stoked with the EP as well. So, yeah.
Awesome. Hey, Louis, Peter, and David, thank you so much for being here today. What have you got for us as your final song on The Active Life?
This one is called Chainsaw.
Oh, we're getting it.
It's
We're
12
getting
years old.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. Get into it, team. Looking forward to hearing it.
That's what happens when you have twice as many strings.
Twice the strings, twice the fun, eh?
Reaching from under, touching my skin. Chain, 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 chain. Pulling the weight out, a word from a bridge. Chain, 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 chain. Still to thinking, nothing will shake me. Chain, 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 chain. Still to thinking, nothing will shake me. Chain, 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 chain.
Active Live. Friday, 3:30. Every week a new band. In the studio. Brought to you by NZ On Air.